Welcome back, folks, once again to another edition of Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Paul Vold. Joining us here this week for a recap on the weekend with your Granite City Lumberjacks assistant coach, Dylan Borseth. And Coach, thanks for stopping by again.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, a weekend sweep for the Lumberjacks, taking the road trip down to Mason City to check out the Mason City Toros. Had them earlier on the year, but it was a very offensive-heavy weekend, we will say, for both teams, especially for the Lumberjacks. Starting off the contest, a 9-4 victory, a very big affair here for both teams, at least the game on Friday. You guys get down early, first couple shots of the game go in for them, but then score 5 straight and never look back from that point. Looking back at the contest as a whole, it was a bit of a fast start for both teams, but as the whole for the whole contest, how'd you feel about the team's performance?
Yeah, a little slow start, going down 2-0 right away, kind of stinks, but being on the road, that's kind of the case sometimes. Having a little bus legs just took a little time for us to get going, and then offense just took off.
Absolutely, and given the fact, too, also we see, of course, the bevy of goal scoring early on and throughout the contest, too. A little bit of a change of pace in the style of play, I should say, too, with just a little bit of a fast going there after you shake the bus legs off, too.
Yeah, they're a pretty fast team, too, so if our legs aren't going, they jump right down our throats, and so we get moving, get the legs going a little bit, and we found our game.
Of course, you take that with a win, then carried over into Saturday, too. A little bit of a back and forth there in the early goings. Again, found yourself down early, but able to rally back from that point. What did you see there from a big difference in the contest from Friday going into Saturday, at least starting things off?
I just think we weren't ready to defend on Saturday, and that was kind of our first 2 periods, I think it was. Just kind of D-zone, just kind of running around. Guys were kind of getting lost, and then third period we go down. Once we go down 4 goal, they get the 4th goal. I think we just kind of figured it out, and just kind of the boys kind of figured out what we needed to do, and they kind of just didn't look back.
Yeah, big transitionary period there of talking about the second and 3 goals to 2 in favor for Granite City. Then you kind of cap things off there with the third period, kind of solidify a little bit more things. But I'm sure as the game kind of went on, you finished things off at least to rally things and be able to finish off the weekend with the win there too.
Yeah, once the third period started, we just kind of had every line going. Everyone seemed to be kind of figuring out what we needed to do, and it was pretty easy. Everyone seemed to know what we had to get done, and the third period, it was just Granite City hockey.
Absolutely. Of course, now making it on the weekend, another sweep for the team. Come back home to Miller Buick GMC Arena for a pair of contests as well against the Minnesota Wilderness. Seen them a couple of times here this year up at their place too. What do you see here for the week ahead with practice leading up, just to kind of fine tune a few more things or maybe things to address with this matchup against the Wilderness coming up?
Yeah, I think we just got to make sure we're staying healthy. A couple guys got some bumps and bruises. Get them off the ice here first couple days of the week. Get them rested up, and then but once the games get going, we're just gonna have to have a physical game. If we just keep it simple and just laying on the bodies, they're gonna be turning pucks over, and we're gonna be kind of being able to play the game that we want to play.
Absolutely. And again, that will be coming up here this weekend. Before we talk about of course, the game times and more, talking about defensively too, we mentioned it a couple of times here with the past weekend. A couple of defensemen get a little bit of spotlight. Of course, Colton Wasson-Gesso named Defenseman of the Month for the league. You also get back over the weekend, I should say, with Luke Anderson back in the lineup as well too. First, talking about Was, great to see him, of course, being a veteran for this group here, getting a lot of, obviously getting a lot of times power play as well. Had that overtime winner here in the season, but great to see him to step in his play from last year into this year too.
Yeah, no, he's been awesome all year for us. No matter really what the circumstances are, he's kind of a guy that we can put out there no matter what's going on. If we need a goal, if we need to stop them from getting a goal, he's kind of been that guy for us, and so it's been really awesome to see. And he's been awesome. Yeah,
and of course having Ando back, a little bit of an injury that he had early going the season, now back, maybe shaking off the rust a little bit, but I'm sure with more practice and time, things will come back to the way that we've seen him over the last year plus.
Yeah, no, it was awesome having him back too. I know he's been itching to get back on the ice, and just kind of being on the bench, just watching practices, he's been just dying to get out there. And Yeah, we saw it this weekend. He was super excited, had a lot of energy the whole weekend, and that's definitely something that we missed on the back end.
Of course, assistant coach Dylan Borseth joins us here this week on Coach's Corner. Getting your Lumberjacks back at home with Miller Buick GMC Arena Friday and Saturday against the Minnesota Wilderness. It'll be 7:30 puck drops. Check out full score schedules and updates and much more by following us on our social media channels as well as na3hl.com. This is Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Paul Vold. We'll stick around here for just a quick second. We'll have our player interview coming up next. Welcome back to Coach's Corner here this week. I'm your host, Paul Vold, and we've got our player interview. Of course, it is number 28 defenseman Luke Anderson. Ando, thanks so much for joining us here this week.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Of course, it was great to have you back in the lineup this past weekend. Of course, fighting off a little bit of an injury at the early going of the season. How's everything feeling? And of course, getting back in the lineup this past weekend.
Of course, feeling a little banged up after the weekend, but it's nothing unusual for me. But felt great to get back out there and be with the guys and get a sweep in Mason City.
Absolutely. Talking about the sweep on the weekend, it was a little offensive heavy, if you will, to open things up there. We'll talk about the game on Friday to start. 9-4 victory. You find yourself down, the team, I should say, 2-0 early on, but then rattle off 5 straight goals just in the first period. From that point being down early, where did you guys see kind of a difference to kind of pull things off from that point?
I would say, just long bus ride, kind of came out slow. They got a couple quick ones on us, and I think that was kind of a wake-up call for us just to get things going. And I think the biggest thing is every game's not going to go your way. You're going to have to fight adversity, and we're lucky enough to be 14-0 right now, but we've been down in some of those games, and I think that shows our adversity as a team. And going forward, I think that's going to be huge for us.
Absolutely. Of course, talking about, a little bit shaking off the bus legs to start off, too. How'd you feel about the pace of the play from Friday night's game to kind of really get things going to set up for the weekend, too?
I'd say Friday's game was definitely a slow start, and I'd say by Saturday, once again, we had a slow start, but I think once we get going, I don't think there's any team that can stop us.
Absolutely. Of course, now talking about the game on Saturday, 6-4 victory as well to sweep the weekend. Again, you said a little bit of a slow start down early, but then a big second period, I should say, for both teams. Of course, find yourselves winning in the scoring department as a whole, but you see really much of a difference from Friday night's game into Saturday just from the game overall?
Not too much. I think on Saturday we were playing more as a team and had a nice second period. We got it tied up late. And I think when we got it tied up late, that gave us a lot of momentum going into the third. And I think that's exactly what we needed. And came out in the third, and I thought played our best period of the weekend.
Absolutely. And of course, talking about just kind of finishing off the weekend too, you really see, of course, now yourself being back in the lineup, seeing how the teams kind of really come together here from the early goings to this point. Where did you see, of course, kind of things kind of finish off with just, that third period, like you said, and just finishing off the weekend?
I think that's a team that can win the Fraser Cup. That team, that the way we played in the third is, like I said, I don't think there's any team that can beat us if we play like we did in the third.
Absolutely. Of course, number 28, Luke Anderson, joins us here this week. Back at home here for a couple of more games with, of course, the Minnesota Wilderness. You saw them at least from up there, I should say, in the early goings of the season here too. What do you see here as a few things kind of addressed from the weekend? Maybe get a little bit of help, at least kind of resting a little bit before taking on the Wilderness here this weekend.
I would say definitely our D zone. Our D zone's got to be better. We got to be a little more uptight about it and got to get on our guys, and I think it just comes down to will at the end of the day. You got to be willing to play defense, and I don't think we played our best defensive game this past weekend, so I think that's going to be the main focal point going into this weekend is really being good defensively, and especially I know last time we were up there in Eveleth, we didn't play our best, and kind of, I don't know, I feel like we could have done a lot more against that team than we did, so I think just being ready to go for this weekend and coming out ready to play Friday night and getting off to a fast start.
Absolutely. We got Luke Anderson. Again, it is a pair of games this weekend from Miller Buick GMC Arena against the Minnesota Wilderness Friday and Saturday, 7:30 puck drops for both those games. Ready for some rapid fire questions, sir?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's start off. A couple questions we had with you on last year, pre-game meal. Any big changes with that for you here this year?
Nothing too much. I've actually gone away from Chipotle though, but I still go with the rice and chicken before games. So kind of the same category, just trying to save a couple bucks. But yeah, just rice and chicken before the game. I kind of just lay around the whole day, watch some Netflix, some YouTube, and just chill out. And then by game time, I'm ready to go.
There we go. That kind of nails the pregame routine there for you too. We've got a couple of different changes this year with the look of the team. With the addition of the red helmets. If you could dress the team top to bottom there, what are you going to send the team out on the ice with what we have?
I like the red helmets. I like the white jerseys, the red and the red covers.
All right,
I just like how the red and red goes together, and I think it looks great.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, you being a Northern Minnesota kid as well, a lot of high school hockey pride on the team. Who on the team probably talks the most trash about how their high school program's better than everybody else's?
I would have to go. I don't know if they talk about like how bad other teams are, but going back to like high school days, I'd have to go like Gavin Sperling.
Okay.
He loves his high school days and that state tourney run they had his junior year. So I definitely hear a lot of it sitting right next to him in the locker room. Don't blame him.
Well, we probably know the answer to this question already. It's been a popular one. Who on the team has the most interesting rookie vet dynamic of the squad?
I would have to definitely go Razor and Manny too. It's like two peas in a pod. Can't even really explain it. It's just an interesting dynamic, and I know Manny moved in with Razor probably a month ago, and ever since then it's kind of taken off.
Oh boy, that's even more dangerous as well.
Double trouble.
Who has the messiest stall on the team? Now we're going to exclude the goalies as usual. Who's got the messiest stall this year?
Gavin Sperling.
Interesting.
Okay. I just chewed him out today about it.
That's a new one for us.
His stuff creeps into my stall every now and then.
Oh, that's just wonderful. Favorite ice cream flavor?
I'd have to go Superman.
Superman, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I like that. Who would you say is your celebrity lookalike?
My girlfriend thinks I look like Zach Bryan.
Interesting.
So I'd have to go with that.
Okay.
I don't know if I totally see it, but I'll just go with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Favorite meme that you either use regularly or just enjoy seeing on the regular?
Definitely the 6-7. You saw it in the first game.
Yep.
Me and Wasi said whoever scores first is doing the 6-7 Selly, and sure enough, I scored, and it was no second thought about it.
Not a doubt on
it's
it.
Awesome.
Which reality TV show would you think you would best fit on?
Gotta go Love Island.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta go. It's probably my favorite reality TV show, so I'll just go Love Island.
I like that. Yeah. I like that. All right, we got Thanksgiving just around the corner here. First plate, you're sitting down at the table. What is on that first Thanksgiving plate?
Definitely some turkey.
Okay.
A lot of bread. I'm a huge bread guy. Probably at least 4 rolls. A lot of potatoes, and I love wild rice.
Oh, okay.
It's huge in our family, especially
like
up in Duluth. Wild rice is huge. I love wild rice.
I like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Thanksgiving as well, question we had last week, you got the kids' table. Yeah. You and 3 other teammates. Who's sitting at that kids' table with you?
I'm going Sankey.
Okay.
Definitely got to go Wazzy.
Okay.
Good dinner talk. And then I'm going to go Tiernan too.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. A very veteran bunch there at that kids' table.
Yep.
Number 28, Luke Anderson, joins us here this week on Coach's Corner. Again, Lumberjacks back in action at home from Miller Buick GMC Arena against the Minnesota Wilderness. 7:30 puck drops Friday and Saturday. Be sure to stay up to date with scores, schedules, and much more by going to na3hl.com, and be sure to follow your Lumberjacks on all of our social media platforms. This is Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Paul Vold. We'll check in with you guys next week.